Good day, subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Jeremy. This is the Financial Education Channel, and it's my favorite day of the entire month. 4 stocks I'm buying, November 2017 edition, guys. We gotta look at how 4 stocks have been since I've added them to the list. 1 stock did get kicked off the list, so we do have 1 new entrant on today, guys. So we're gonna discuss that. And I feel like I've kind of been a little lazy with these 4 stocks videos recently. Like, I think it's because I do them like every month that I've kind of haven't gone in as in depth in some of these. So today I want to make sure I'm really going in depth with them and kind of explaining my rationale on why I'm invested in these particular stocks and why I love them so much, guys. So that's what we got to talk about, and make sure you follow me on Instagram. My Instagram link is down there in the description. I'm trying to get that Instagram game up, guys, so go ahead and follow me on there. All right, let's look at this here, guys. So GoPro, my number 1, right? Still down since this one was added back at March 1st, 2016, still down 22% on this one. The interesting thing is GoPro's literally announcing earnings the day this video comes out, so who knows, that I hope it gets a lot better and we get closer to break even after the earnings, but we never know there. Wynn Resorts, completely opposite situation here with my second stock, right? Up 138% since this one was added in February of 2016, guys. Unbelievable there at Wynn Resorts. Cirrus Logic, I added this one back September 1st, and it's down about 4.7% so far. And then L Brands was actually added that same exact month in September. That one's up over 14%, so we're doing really good on that one so far. So, one of the stocks did get kicked off. One of them was not GoPro. GoPro is still on here, guys. I really want to explain to you why I love this company so much, why I believe that I'm going to make huge gains on it, okay? Basically, essentially, I'm paying $1.5 billion for this company, okay? That's the market cap on it. The forward P is somewhere around a 26, all right? So GoPro has really changed the game as far as they used to be a one-trick pony company, and now literally as of this year and going into next year, they're kind of broadening their product portfolio. So it's not just they're selling one type of camera. Now they're doing a lot of different things, guys. So obviously they have their flagship, which was just launched here, Hero 6, the best camera they've ever created. You know, GoPro, the Hero cameras are the best-selling cameras literally in the history of the world, guys. So that's pretty cool stuff there. Fusion camera here is coming out literally this week, which is very exciting. Fusion camera, which is a virtual reality camera. GoPro has a phenomenal chance to be the #1, literally the #1 player in the virtual reality camera space. If they can do that, that's huge, guys. I mean, VR is going to be, you know, something that's not going to be super huge in my opinion for 3 to 5 years, but if GoPro can establish itself now as kind of the #1 player there, if you want a virtual reality camera, if they can become that, that's huge for the company. Also, just this past spring, they started selling the Karma drone all around the world. So drones is obviously a huge growing space. I mean, drones are becoming more and more popular. I see more and more of them out there. The growth rates have been outstanding for those. So the fact that they're getting in the drone space, that was their first ever drone they've ever launched here with the Karma drone. It'll be interesting to see how they follow that up, and if they get something that is not just you know, more toward the GoPro consumer base, which is kind of the Karma drone, and more toward it gets some of the DJI customers, it gets some other people involved and whatnot. It'll be interesting to see if GoPro can innovate and come out with something that's really phenomenal that can compete with, say, a DJI Maverick or something like that. That would be interesting. And then the stabilization, this is their highest priced accessory ever, $299. You know, if you are trying to do a lot of crazy stuff with GoPros, you would love some great stability, and a device like that, you know, is phenomenal. And then on the software side, right, they got the Quick app. This is a 5-star app. Look at that, over 17,000 reviews on Apple, right? 5 stars. They got the Splice app, which is around 8,000 reviews, and that one's 5 stars. So they have a phenomenal product portfolio now all around the company. It's not just like they sell their Hero camera and then that's all they got. Now they got a huge accessories business, which the most important accessory in my opinion they ever launched, which was the stabilization device. They're now in the drone space, and they're now going to be in the virtual reality camera space. And they got the full software suite around the company, so it's a seamless effort as far as your camera automatically uploading to the cloud or uploading to your phone or whatever, being able to just, you know, have the system, the Quick system, basically make you a video and all those kinds of things, guys. This is really cool stuff. So for that reason, you know, I'm just so excited about this company. Then on top of that, they're really pushing hard into basically selling from their own website versus selling to retailers and whatnot. Now, you know, I get emails. They got a huge email list. GoPro has a humongous email list that they can kind of incentivize people to buy straight through GoPro. Gopro.com, okay? This is big because say GoPro gives away, you know, a $60 something, right? First off, that $60 something extra they're giving away, right? They probably only paid $30 for that, okay? Then on top of that, if you look at it from the perspective of a consumer buying something, right? If I was to buy, let's say, a Karma drone, right? We looked at that email they sent me here. If I was wanting to buy a Karma drone, where would I buy it? Would I buy it straight through GoPro, or would I buy it from Amazon or Best Buy? Well, they're all the same price, but if I bought it straight through GoPro, they were going to give me a free battery with that. So I love that, and the reason I love that so much is the margins GoPro makes from selling straight from GoPro.com versus selling at, say, Best Buy versus selling at Amazon or any retailer. It's a significant difference, guys. I mean, if you could look at, say, the Hero 6 camera, right? It's a $500 camera. GoPro's probably selling those to retailers for somewhere around $300, okay? Now, if they can sell one of those on their website, they're getting an extra $200 profit there, right? Or maybe at least an extra $150 profit there, guys. So we're talking about that could increase profitability dramatically. So I love the fact that GoPro is pushing hard on this because they've built these email lists over years and they built these huge social media followings. I mean, look at their Instagram following, 13.3 million followers. They post pictures on there all the time. They get hundreds and hundreds of thousands of likes and views and whatnot, and those can directly link to GoPro.com to sell a device. We look at Facebook here, they have over 10 million likes. On YouTube, they got over 5 million subscribers. So they've spent a lot of work over the, literally the past 5 to 10 years building these social media followings. Now they can really capitalize in a big way on this and get them to a place where they're much more profitable by selling through their own channel rather than just relying on the Best Buy, the Amazon, those kinds of things, guys. So I'm really excited about that. And if we look at the growth here, so this current quarter, they're expected to grow somewhere around 30% revenue growth. The current year around 14%. If we look at next year, analysts are only expecting this company to grow about 6.5%. I love that because I believe they're going to be able to, in my opinion, I see no reason why GoPro will not grow at a double-digit rate in next year in 2018. I see no reason why with how they're broadening their product portfolio and how low they have channel inventories right now. It's not like they got a ton of channel inventory out there that they need to work through. It's super low right now. So it's just straight to the retailers and whatnot, guys. So for that reason, I see no reason why GoPro can't grow at double-digit rate again next year, which they've done this past year. So I'm definitely extremely excited about that. And when you get to pay $1.5 billion for a company that's growing at the rate it's growing at, it's basically you're buying a company that's trading at like 1 times price to sales ratio, which is like ridiculous, guys. Most companies trade at 3, 5, some even 10, some even 20 price to sales ratios. This one's selling for 1 times price to sales ratio, guys. The number 2 stock, I'm sticking with Wynn Resorts here. So basically, this company has a market cap of $15 billion, right? A $15 billion market cap, a forward PE of 22, all right? What do you get for buying this company at $15 billion? I always like to view it like if I'm buying this whole company, I'm essentially paying $15 billion. What do I get for my $15 billion, right? Well, you get Wynn Las Vegas and Encore Las Vegas, the 2 premier properties, the 2 most profitable properties on the entire Las Vegas Strip, one of the most, highest destinations out there for tourists, right? And also conventions and business and all kinds of things. Las Vegas has really grown from just being a tourist spot to now it's like a business spot with the convention game and whatnot. It's incredible out here, right? So those are the best properties as far as profitability by far on the Las Vegas Strip you're getting, right? And you take into account that those properties they just posted, when they just reported numbers a couple days ago, they just posted their best results on those properties since 2005. Since 2005, guys, that's a long freaking time ago. We're talking 12 years. So that's phenomenal. Then you get Wynn Palace, which is now the premier property, going to be the most profitable property starting next year in all of Macau, right? So that's phenomenal. And you get Wynn Macau and Encore Macau, 2 other properties, which are 2 of the best properties out there as well as far as profitability goes in Macau still, even though they're older properties. And those properties are actually actually growing right now. If you look at the latest quarter, they grew revenues, grew profits at those properties, which is amazing considering they just opened up Wynn Palace this past year and all the massive amounts of revenue Wynn Palace is creating in profits. So it's not just like they took all their customers from the old properties, moved into the new properties. No, they filled up all their old properties as well and still fill up the new properties. So that's phenomenal news. What else do you get for $15 billion? You get one of the best CEOs in the world. Yes, he's getting a little older, Steve Wynn, but he's one of the best CEOs, in my opinion, out there, guys. I mean, you can find anywhere. He runs the company for the long term. He's not scared to take a short-term hit as far as profits go or something, just to make sure his company runs for the long term. He takes great care of his employees compared to all others in the industry he's in, and for that reason, his service levels are much better, which attracts even more VIPs. Top of the properties being phenomenal. Just a phenomenal CEO. The way he's built the business is amazing. He's basically the reason the Las Vegas Strip is the way the Las Vegas Strip is. Because before he built the Wynn properties, guess what he built? He built the Bellagio, he built Treasure Island, the Mirage, all these properties, guys. It's amazing. We got Wynn Boston open up here in about 18 months, give or take a few months there, which is just going to be a great property in itself. And then they're going to be tearing apart the golf course behind the Wynn Las Vegas coming up here in December, and they're building a phenomenal Paradise Park, guys, that's going to have at least one tower at start, but it could have multiple hotel towers. The first one's supposed to be about 47 stories. Going to have those huge lagoon area where you can swim and do all types of water sports, parades, so much stuff, guys. Going to have more restaurants on it, all that type of stuff, which is just going to kind of elevate Wynn. You know, it's already the premier property on Las Vegas Strip. It's going to elevate it even more to, like, there's no one even remotely close that can match the type of things Wynn's doing there with their properties, guys. So when I look at this company for $15 billion, I get all that. I'm going to take it every single time, guys, because it's just such a well-run company at a 22 forward PE and all the things, all the growth it has going right now. You know, I can't say no to that one. Cirrus Logic still coming in at number 3, so obviously L Brands got kicked off, guys. Cirrus Logic coming here still at number 3. This is a company that's somewhere around a $3 billion or about $3.5 billion market cap, right? A forward PE of around 11, guys, 11. So first off with Cirrus Logic, this is a long-term hold for me. It's not something I'm just like planning on being in a short-term or whatnot. And most companies I go into, I'm long-term. But this one, I'm really thinking like 2, 3, 4 years out. I highly doubt I'll sell this one in any short amount of time. So I'm actually welcoming if this stock goes down in the short term. I would love it. I'm actually mad it went back up because it dropped to about 52. I was looking for it to go under 50 and so I could add a bigger position. This one I'm actually rooting for it to go down literally because I want this one. I think I'm going to get huge gains a few years out in this one. It's possibility of sooner here. They basically make audio components for Apple, so one of the biggest players out there, and Samsung. They make audio components for those two companies. They get around 80% of their revenue currently from Apple, which is one of the reasons that PE is kind of low, just because there's a risk there with Apple as far as what if Apple dropped them or whatnot. They have a phenomenal relationship with Apple. They've done great business together over time. Cirrus Logic charges them fair prices. What Apple feels fair prices, Cirrus Logic shows up on time, does things that, if anything, I think their relationship has a chance to expand more rather than decrease. But at the same time, there's always a risk with Cirrus Logic that they are so dependent upon Apple. However, that may not stay that way, guys. Look at this here. So Apple considers dumping Qualcomm as chip supplier, sending shares tumbling, okay? So this is an important thing here, guys. This is important, okay? It's not so much important as far as Cirrus and Apple's business, okay? I'll explain why in a minute. But let's still think about this. The main competitor Cirrus Logic has out there as far as audio codecs go is Qualcomm, okay? So now Apple doesn't even want to do any business with Qualcomm, right? Apple's trying to move completely away from Qualcomm. So that almost eliminates a lot of the possibility of, oh, Apple might switch to somebody else, because now you just took away Cirrus Logic's main competitor. There's still kind of Maxim out there, still kind of Texas Instruments, but those companies aren't really focused on audio codecs the way Cirrus Logic is. Cirrus Logic's all about audio codecs, all about audio amplifiers that go into phones, tablets, smart home devices. They're in a lot of the new Amazon devices and whatnot, guys, that are like you can talk to Alexas and all that kind of stuff. So for that reason, it's even a better thing for Cirrus Logic. But there's something even bigger here that I want to pay attention to, okay? So This comes out from back in May, right? This article here. Qualcomm continues to have a rough start for the first half of the year after being sued by Apple and the United States Federal Trade Commission in separate lawsuits over anti-competitive practices. On Friday, Samsung and Intel both filed briefs backing the FTC in its case against Qualcomm, claiming they have been harmed by the misconduct, okay? This is important, guys. This is important because we see Samsung also kind of doesn't like Qualcomm, right? Not only do they compete, but they're now, Samsung's getting involved with this whole FTC thing, right? So here's the deal. Cirrus Logic already has a relationship with Samsung, okay? They already have a relationship. They already do some business together. However, for a lot of the Samsung devices, a lot of the Galaxy, a lot of the Notes, Samsung still use Qualcomm's audio codecs, okay? The audio codecs where the money is, a smart codecs, all right? So they're still using a lot of those. Now, if Qualcomm gets to the point where Samsung's like, I don't want to use any Qualcomm chips, who are they going to go to? Probably the company they already have a relationship, the one that has the scalability, the one that has the resources to give a Samsung direct, contact and give you, say, we're going to dedicate 100 employees strictly to use Samsung, or 200 employees just to making the chips as phenomenal as they can for the Samsung devices, guys. So this is a potential very big thing for Cirrus, because if they could win over Samsung as a huge customer as far as being the main audio chip supplier to Samsung, guys, that gives the company an ability to have a way bigger valuation. Not just because it creates more profits, not just because it creates more revenue, but because it diversifies their profit stream, where maybe all of a sudden they go from 80% of their profits coming from Apple to maybe a situation where 50% of the profits, and then investors aren't as scared to jump in it because it's like, oh, if you lost Apple, you're done, because no, then you have Samsung as well, guys. So that's huge in itself, but I'm not counting on that. I'm not really counting on that. What I'm counting on is this paragraph here. We recently hit significant milestones with the tape out of numerous components that we believe are essential for future growth, including our 28 nanometer voice biometrics chip, okay? That part right there is one of the biggest reasons why I love Cirrus Logic. This is something that's not going to play out for probably about 24-month time frame, okay? It could come as soon as 12 months. I doubt it, though. Could come as far out as 36 months. I kind of doubt it. I think it's something that's going to be about 24 months from now, basically. A voice biometrics chip would allow you to say, hey, Siri, and Siri unlock, and you could, have Siri read your emails, have Siri read your text messages to you, all those kinds of things, guys. Really cool futuristic stuff that you cannot do currently right now with Siri. By the way, my Siri went off when I said, hey Siri. You cannot do those type of things right now because Siri basically needs you need to put in your passcode, okay? So if you're doing something and you can't actually access your phone, then how's it gonna read your emails and stuff? It won't allow you to, because it needs the passcode in there. This voice biometrics chip basically understands that it's me speaking, which is totally cool stuff, guys. And according to Jason Rowe, in an investor conference, he said, quote, it has a chance to double the company, guys. So, that's a phenomenal opportunity out there, guys. Imagine, if they double profits, if that voice biometrics chip can help them double profits, all those kinds of things. A lot going there. Then we look at the balance sheet here. $163 million in cash, $11 million in marketable securities, $134 million in loan. And guess how much debts they have? None. No debt at all, guys. So this is a company that has an unbelievable balance sheet. So for that reason, Cirrus Logic, I love this company. I don't know if I could ever make it my #1 position, just because of the risk with Apple a little bit. But, if they got a little more diversified with their revenue, it's a company I could potentially have as my #1 or #2 biggest investment out there, guys. And obviously, L Brands got kicked off the list. Not that I disliked L Brands, just I made a good percentage on my money on a small position. I got out of it. And so I've added a new one to the list, guys, and it's eBay. Okay, so eBay, this is a pretty simple one, guys. This is not complicated. You guys probably already know eBay. I don't even need to describe it to you. You've probably used eBay or use eBay currently, right? This is a company that you basically pay $40 billion for. You're getting a forward PE of just under 17, all right? If we look here, EPS is experiencing pretty nice growth with this one, okay? Conservative forward PE, a very safe business in my opinion out there, right? And we look at EPS here, so in this next coming quarter, right? Year ago EPS of 54 cents, they're expected to do 59 cents there. If we look at the current year, the year ago they did $1.88, now they're expected to do $2. Next year they did, are expected to do $2, but then they can get up to $2.22. That's nice EPS growth, and I think that's kind of conservative there. If we look at the revenue estimates here, in the current quarter, somewhere around 9%. The following quarter, 8.8%. Current year expected around 6.5%, and next year around over 7% revenue growth there, guys. So consistent growth is kind of what I'm looking for, and I've listened to several investor presentations. The CEO sounds like they should definitely achieve nice growth, and that's, in my opinion, nice growth for a company that's trading at a 17 forward PE, and a company that has a pretty safe, in my opinion at least, pretty safe business model. It's not like, if they lose one customer is bad or something. By the way, they're gaining customers right now. They're up to about, I think it's around 171 million active customers currently, guys. So that's phenomenal news. Then you look at the balance sheet of this company, $1.7 billion in cash, over $4.2 billion in short-term investments, over $6.3 billion in long-term investments. They do have $9 billion in long-term debts, unfortunately. However, it's still the cash and investments way outweigh the debts, guys. So in my opinion, a very good balance sheet for a company at this size. Then we look at the share repurchase here, right? eBay announced in July 2017 the company's board authorized an additional $3 billion stock repurchase program with no expiration from the date of authorization. That's big there, guys, because basically they're going to be able to buy back more shares, and as long as their net income keeps increasing, then on top of that they buy back shares, then we could be looking at EPS growth of a lot faster rate than what the analysts have, which then you could beat analyst estimates, and guess what happens generally speaking when you beat analyst estimates? Your stock goes up and up and up, and if you can keep doing that consistently, then that's just a phenomenal thing, guys. So eBay, super simple investment there. So it's a fairly low PE. It's got decent growth behind it. I love the platform myself. I use it all the time to either sell stuff or buy stuff, and for that reason, with the share repurchase and a very good balance sheet, in my opinion, I can't say no to this company. So that's the new one there, guys. Let me know if there are any of these stocks you actually own or are trading right now. I would love to hear from you guys. Hit a thumbs up if you really enjoyed. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a great day.